okay though. Like for me, we got a great understanding, and I care about so we can keep that friendship. You know, it's not like every person.
For years, the public saw a polished image, conscious rapper, a poetic gentleman, the man who spoke about love, growth, and spiritual alignment. But now that image is being questioned in a way nobody expected. When Jennifer Hudson finally addressed her relationship with Common, it wasn't just a casual reflection. It felt like a moment that shifted the entire narrative. She began calmly, expressing gratitude and faith, saying she thanks God daily and allows divine guidance to lead her relationships. On the surface, everything seemed peaceful. But underneath that serenity was a story that would shake things up. Jennifer revealed that she chose to walk away, and not for the reasons most people assumed. According to what she implied, she began noticing behaviors that didn't sit right with her spirit. She suggested that Common maintained unusually close bonds with certain male friends' relationships she felt crossed emotional boundaries. She even hinted that he attempted to form questionable connections with men within her own circle. That allegation alone completely disrupted the image many fans had of him. For decades, Common cultivated the persona of the emotionally evolved gentleman, thoughtful, respectful, spiritually aware. But Jennifer's comments suggested there may have been a completely different dynamic behind closed doors. And she didn't stop there. She also addressed his past, including the child he shares with Kim Jones. In a shocking implication, she suggested there were lingering questions about paternity and even hinted at possible fertility issues. That kind of statement doesn't just cause gossip, it challenges a man's legacy, his family identity, and the foundation of his public persona. Suddenly, what once seemed like a clean love story turned into a layered mystery publicly. Common had always spoken beautifully about love. He described himself as someone who had grown, someone capable of marriage, someone who listens to God's discernment when deciding life partnerships. He often spoke about divine timing, about knowing in his spirit when something is right. But Jennifer's version of events painted a much colder picture. Behind the polished interviews and red carpet smiles, she described a pattern, a dismissive streak, emotional distance, and a habit of withdrawing when relationships required deeper commitment. And when you begin reviewing his romantic history, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. Let's rewind. In the 1990s, Common was in a relationship with Kim Jones. They welcomed a daughter together. But the relationship ended when their child was still very young. Years later, he admitted in his memoir that his daughter once felt he hadn't fought hard enough to be present in her life. He described feeling limited access and emotional distance after the breakup. While he acknowledged love was present, he admitted the bond wasn't as strong as it could have been. That confession revealed vulnerability, but it also showed a pattern of detachment. During emotionally complicated periods, then came Erykah Badu. Their relationship in the early 2000s was intense, creative, and publicly admired. They collaborated musically and appeared deeply connected. He later described her as his first real love, admitting that the breakup left him devastated and emotionally lost. He struggled to eat. He said he was in a haze. Yet he also emphasized that it just didn't move forward. A recurring phrase. After that came Taraji P. Henson. Their relationship was kept mostly private at the time. But years later, she revealed it was her last serious long-term relationship. Her son had even grown attached to Common, and the breakup reportedly affected him. Common responded respectfully in interviews, calling her a good woman, but again, the relationship ended without long-term commitment. Next was Serena Williams, one of the most iconic athletes in the world. Their romance blended hip-hop culture with sports royalty. Publicly, they remained cordial even after separating. They collaborated professionally and maintained maturity in interviews. But once again, no permanence. Then came Angela Rye. This relationship appeared serious from the beginning. They made public appearances together, discussed growth, and seemed aligned intellectually. But when conversations about children surfaced, the cracks became visible. Angela later revealed that she wanted kids, wasn't sure. And as she famously said, when someone says, "I don't know," they usually mean, no. That relationship ended too. Then Tiffany Haddish entered the picture after they worked together on a film. What began as friendship turned romantic. Tiffany later implied that when she began taking the relationship seriously, the dynamic shifted. The breakup, she suggested, was not as mutual as presented publicly. Over and over again, the narrative followed the same arc: strong beginning, public admiration, emotional intensity, then withdrawal when permanence was discussed. Which brings us back to Jennifer. When Common reportedly proposed, it seemed like the ultimate plot twist. A man known for stepping back suddenly stepping forward. But Jennifer said no. And according to insiders, her refusal wasn't just about rumors. It was about discernment. She had survived a painful engagement in her past. She had endured emotional turmoil and accusations in her previous relationship. She had learned the cost of ignoring red flags, so when she sensed something unsettled beneath the surface, she chose herself. For once, the man who usually controlled the narrative wasn't the one deciding when it would end. This time, the door was shown to him, and that shift changed everything. To understand why Jennifer's decision carried so much weight, you have to examine her past. Years before Common entered her life, she was engaged to David Otunga. They built a family together and were together for nearly a decade. But behind the scenes, the relationship deteriorated. There were allegations of emotional strain, control issues, and serious conflict. At one point, reports suggested that tension escalated to the point where trust was completely fractured. For Jennifer, that chapter wasn't just a breakup, it was trauma. So when Common began pursuing her seriously, she didn't rush. There, romance reportedly began quietly during filming in 2022. There were whispers, dinner sightings, subtle chemistry. At first, she denied the rumors, saying people were creating stories. But eventually, it confirmed their relationship publicly. He flew overseas to support her theater performance, a grand gesture that made headlines. Insiders claim they were intentionally low-key but clearly serious. Fans expected wedding bells. Instead, they got a refusal. When rumors surfaced that Common proposed, insiders claimed Jennifer declined because she wasn't ready to risk her peace again. There were also whispers that she questioned his intentions, particularly regarding finances and long-term stability. For a man accustomed to walking away first, being rejected hit differently. Observers began connecting dots. Why was he suddenly ready for marriage now, after years of hesitancy with other women? Was it genuine growth, or was it timing? Some believe he truly matured. Others believe Jennifer saw a cycle she refused to repeat. Public reaction exploded. Online. Many fans praised Jennifer, saying she made the right decision. They argued she had evolved spiritually and emotionally beyond someone who repeatedly avoided commitment. Others questioned whether she might have walked away from something real. But one thing became clear. This wasn't just celebrity gossip. Anymore, it was a conversation about patterns. When someone repeatedly exits relationships, once deeper commitment is required, at what point does coincidence become habit? Jennifer's supporters argue she recognized the signs early and chose not to gamble with her future, and for the first time in his romantic history, Common wasn't the one deciding when the story ended. Whether he has truly changed is something only time can reveal. But what's undeniable is this: Jennifer Hudson did not quietly fade into another chapter of his dating timeline. She made a conscious decision. She trusted her instincts. And she walked away on her own terms. And in Hollywood, that might be the rarest plot twist of all.